Welcome back to Hook Eat Up. Now, in keeping with our Mediterranean theme for the month of August, it's time to focus on a main course. Now, the first time that I ever went to a Mediterranean restaurant was actually a Lebanese restaurant. And as I sat down, I looked around at what everybody else was eating, and it seemed that the star of the day was grilled fish. And the weird thing about the fish is that it came out really flat and like expanded. It kind of blew my mind. I didn't know what the hell was going on. And then when I got my dish, it was prepared in a way that the fish was grilled completely flat and boneless. And that blew my mind even further. So I talked to the waiter and asked him exactly how did they get it this way. And what they told me is that they use a technique called butterflying the fish, where they kind of fillet it from the inside. They keep the skin on because the skin has tons of that oil and the actual flavor of the fish. And then they grill it in an open way. And I'm going to show you how to do that. To make this dish, you're going to need the following things. You're going to need this fish grilling utensil, which I got from Home Depot. I think I paid like $10 for it. I got this fresh caught sea bass. Now this is a fish that I think is local in the Northeast. It's not Chilean sea bass, but it's close. It's a white flesh fish. It's black in color, just like a Chilean sea bass would be, but the flavor profile of the meat is a little different. Chilean sea bass is a lot sweeter. This also is fairly on the sweeter side. Now, with most Mediterranean fish dishes, it's really light on seasoning because the fish really is the star. So you're gonna just need some olive oil, salt, pepper, lemon, and of course, I had to bring it in, the Haitian Epis Spice Blend. Now this is something that I've made that's really universal. If you don't already have this in your fridge, if you haven't been following me, obviously this is something that I use in about 50% of my dishes. The way to make it is right here. Follow this link. Really delicious, and it goes well with this fish. Now, to butterfly this, I'm gonna take a sharp knife. Now this fish is already gutted, and I'm just going to split it from the belly down through its butt, through the tail fin, and down to the tail. And then what I'm gonna do is just cut it straight down until I hit that center bone there. And what you're doing is you're pretty much filleting it from the inside. Now that I'm touching the center bone, which is right here, once I get to the rib bones, I'm gonna start cutting through those. Now you don't want to cut through the skin at this point. You really just want to get it right down to the surface. Now I'm using a paring knife. You could use a chef's knife, or you could use a fillet knife, would probably work even better. But I feel that I have a lot of control with this, and that's why I'm using it. So already we have one side butterflied out. If you see, I still have some rib bones here. I'm going to show you how to take care of that in just a bit. And we're going to do the same. So I'm just going to get under this rib cage and pretty much do the same the whole way down. And you're gonna want a nice sized fish because you're not gonna want to lose too much meat doing this. So a good 2-pounder, 3-pounder would be nice. So now once again, I'm through the rib bones and just following this down all the way to the dorsal fin. You don't want to cut through the meat, so just be careful as you go through it. And what I'm going to do once I have this bone out, I'm saving it because I'm going to be making a fish stock. There we go. Okay, so now I got the backbone cut out from the front and from the tail. Last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my utility scissor here. I'm just gonna cut down and along that center line. There you go. You have the center bone all removed. Save that because you can make an amazing fish stock with that. Now the only bones that are left are the bones that feed right into the dorsal fin. You're gonna leave those and you're gonna easily be able to avoid those. But the next thing that you could do is start removing these rib bones. Now you can either pull them out with your hand or get right underneath them and just cut them away. just the head and the meat. Now, if I was a little better, I would have been able to keep more of that side meat, but I got it over there, and I'm working on it. Now, this is what this is about, you know, going outside of your comfort zone, trying things, reproducing, and learning from it. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut up this lemon. I'm gonna cut it in half. And I'm gonna get about 3 thin wheels of lemon. Just so I can place it along the meat right before we grill. I'm gonna dry this fish off a bit. Grab a napkin. Just pat it dry. So I'm working with the meat that's not too slick. Just pat everything dry. Now I'm gonna grab the epis. I'm just gonna rub that right onto the meat. Just get it coated. Just a pinch at a time. Just remove it. Turn it over. On the other side, same. Just grab handfuls of the epis and rub it on there. Next thing is just I'm gonna place the lemon wheels right down the center. And then I'm gonna start preparing this. Now this is really messy. I'm gonna just oil the grill. If not, the fish is gonna end up sticking to it, and you're gonna have a disaster on your hands. Even with an oiled grill, it still could happen. But I'm gonna oil that up first. Then I'm gonna oil up the fish. And then I'm gonna hit it with salt and pepper after I have it on the grill. It's liberal amounts of oil. Get it nice and messy. Tons of oil. Flip it on. Try to get as much of the fish into the grill as possible. Slide that on over. And then, again, heavily oil the opposite side. Tons and tons of oil on this. I'm gonna just close this up. And it's almost grilling time. So the first thing that I did was set the grill to 600 degrees on high heat. Then I placed some wood chips directly on the grill so that I could get a large puff of smoke, just to give it some flavor since it is a gas grill. Now the fish goes on skin side down for 5 minutes. Now that's gonna blister up the skin and get it a nice crispy texture. After 5 minutes, I flip the fish over and then I cook it for another 3 minutes. So in about 8 minutes, you'll be done with your fish. So we finished grilling the fish, and what you'll see is that we have some crisping along the edges, and the meat is cooked all the way through. Now, I'm going to take this apart and see whether or not the meat is gonna fall apart. And it is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my spoon, and as I lift this, I'm gonna push whatever is sticking back down. Because I don't want to lose that meat and I don't want to disrupt the integrity of the shape. Okay? So that releases whatever I can. And I'm going to give this another turn just so I can do the same on the skin side. Now that's going to make a mess, of course, because there's still juices here. So I'm going to try to be as quick and delicate as possible. There we go. And flip that over. I'm just gonna get the head on the plate since it's so sexy. And then we're gonna do the same here and just separate the skin out. Now, if you got some tips for me on how I could have done this better, especially if you're working at a Mediterranean restaurant or you're used to grilling your fish this way, please let me know. Whatever little secrets you have, I'd appreciate it. Just leave it in the comments below. Okay. So now that I have that all separated, grab the spatula. Try to get as much of this onto the spatula as possible, just so it holds up. And then as quickly as I can, I'm just gonna transfer this over. Yeah. Whole fish. Transfer over just like that. I'm gonna get the head back on. There we have it. Let me just clean up here. And there you have it. Mediterranean styled grilled black sea bass. Now this is the first time that I'm trying to grill my fish this way. So you can see I kind of butchered it a bit, but that's what this channel is all about. Learning and stepping outside of your comfort zone. Now, if you have any suggestions on how I could have done this better, please use that comment section below to let me know what I could have done differently. If you're not already a subscriber, it's that time. Hit that subscription button. All subscriptions count. Take care, and thank you for joining me at the Feed Up.